It showed live streaming. Should I go in?
You are live now, ma'am.
So I'll wait for 5-6 seconds. I'll start, okay? So a very good evening, everybody. So I'm Dr. Nupur, and on behalf of Team WOS, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to this wonderful, webinar. And we are kickstarting a wonderful series of young WOS of Her Choice, Her Journey. And we have an excellent lineup of, topics, very relevant topics, for especially for young women ophthalmologists. So before we dive into what the actual webinar is about, it's my pleasure to introduce the General Secretary of WOS, Dr. Mohita Sharma, ma'am. She needs no introduction. So, ma'am is the founder and the chairperson of Tirupati Eye Center and Research Center at Noida. And she's also the Joint Secretary of YWOS, and she has a lot of awards and to her credit. So, I welcome you, ma'am, and I'll request you to, speak a few words about WOS and about this whole concept. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this webinar of which is a very different topic which has been taken up today by the young WOS. And WOS is working on a lot of things nowadays, whether it is research or multi-century trials, workplace challenges, dealing with crisis, entrepreneurial activities, finances, etc., etc. A lot of things related to teachers, related to the overall holistic development. But the idea with which was initially started was what we are talking about today. We started this society because we felt that there are inevitable breaks which women have to go through, whether it is marriage or it is family responsibilities or it is maternity. So, and all that coincides with the time where we are, refining our surgical skills as a surgical branch. So when both the things come together, it becomes a challenge for quite a few women ophthalmologists. And the whole idea of WOS was to give more opportunities to pull them out of their state of inertia so that they are able to perform up to their full potential. So after going through a whole circle of research and Teachers Connect and entrepreneurs, etc., and industry, etc., etc., we come back once again today to the same thing, which is the burning question: when should I go for a fellowship? When should I go for a marriage? When should I go? When should I plan my maternity? Because these are the important questions which need to be answered. They may be different for everybody, but when you hear it from the others, you would find your solution. And the whole webinar today is for giving you those solutions. So thank you, Nupur. Thank you, Raki. Thank you, Prasanna. Thank you, Vibhuti, and all other. And of course, thank you, dear Swati, who is the guiding light behind all this, behind all the young was. And we are very eager to hear what you all have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for creating this wonderful opportunity of WOS. And it's already benefiting so many people. And I'm sure that, listening to such beautiful webinars and listening to this, more will join WOS. And thank you, ma'am, for giving us all the opportunity and creating this wonderful platform. Next, I would like to invite our very dear Dr. Swati Tomar, ma'am. So, ma'am is she's done a fellowship in cornea and anterior segment from LV Prasad Eye Institute, Hyderabad, and she was also the adjunct faculty, the director and consultant at Swanitra Eye Hospital, Jaipur, and she's also the member scientific committee AIOS, and she's also the, as ma'am mentioned, Dr. Mohita ma'am mentioned, the guiding light behind the young WOS and has been guiding all of us, to come out with this unique and different concepts. And we would like to hear from you, ma'am, a few words about young WOS and this whole concept. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Nupur. And as ever, our guiding light and the star is Dr. Mohita. So I would just say a couple of lines for young women who are out there, that your personal life and your professional life is not a competition amongst each other. Just build up on your skills and find good mentors and take every step as a success or a failure, but still you learn a lot through all this. And was is such a platform that it is there to support you at every stage, at every event. And when you share these kind of experiences with a platform like was, when there's so many young women who you could inspire of, you can learn from, and also you can teach, is what we are here for, to have support with each other. So thank you, Nupur, Raki, and everybody who has made such an enlightening program, and all the speakers who are going to contribute to this. And over to you, Nupur, not taking too much of time here. So all the best for this series. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for those words of encouragement and guiding us always and encouraging, forever being so encouraging. Now, I would like to invite the brainchild behind this whole concept of, her choice, her journey, Dr. Rakhi D. Cruz, a very, dynamic young was one of the team leads. So over to you, Rakhi, why you thought about this concept. A quick few words from you before we kickstart, to the further introductions. Over to you, Dr. Raj.
Hi, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to the WOS session. So, this is going to be a conversation and a debate series. I am Dr. Aki Dictus, and on behalf of the Women Ophthalmological Society, I'm truly delighted to see many of you here today. So, today's theme is something very close to my heart and most of your hearts: her choice, her journey, and her story. So, as women in ophthalmology, we often find ourselves at the crossroads. Do we choose marriage first or fellowship first? Do we plan motherhood first or later? So, actually, there are no right and wrong answers for this. But there are real stories, there are real dilemmas, and real lessons behind every choice that we make. So, tonight, we are not going to give judgments here. We are just going to have open, honest conversations. Here, we are having two segments. First, the marriage matters, which will be dealt by Dr. Vaishagi Prasanna and Dr. Deepika Kurana. And second, the baby balance, which will be dealt by Dr. Nilufar Sultana and Dr. Sonali Verma. So, this will be followed by a panel discussion with some of the most respected voices from our WOS community. So, our goal is actually simple: to listen, to learn, and to remind each other that every woman's journey is unique and every choice deserves a voice. So, let's begin these candid conversations with open minds and open hearts. Over to our moderator. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Raki, for putting that, and giving the thought process behind this whole concept. And it's such a beautiful concept and so unique and so different. And very rightly said that every choice deserves a voice. So, with this, let me go on to introducing our speakers for today. So, first, we have Dr. Vaisakhi Prasannan. She's a consultant pediatric ophthalmology, strabismus, and neuro-ophthalmology at Chaitanya Eye Hospital at Kochi, Kerala. Welcome, Dr. Vaisakhi. Then we have Dr. Deepika Khurana. So she's currently working at Agarwal Eye Hospital in Hyderabad since 2022 and as a senior phaco and oculoplasty surgeon. She's also a member of the clinical board and quality control committee within the Dr. AEH. So welcome, Dr. Deepika. Next, we have Dr. Nilna. So it's a pleasure to introduce her. She's a senior consultant, cornea, anterior segment, cataract and refractive surgery. She's an LVP alumna, and she's working at Center for Sight, Hyderabad. Welcome, Dr. Nilufar. Then we have Dr. Sonali Verma. She's a consultant ophthalmologist at Shama Eye Hospital, Delhi, and she was previously working at Eye Care Eye Hospital and PG Institute, Noida. So welcome, Dr. Sonali. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Vibhuti Kashyap to introduce our panelists. Over to you, Dr. Vibhuti.
Yeah, so hi everybody. So today we have a cluster of panelists starting with Dr. Sridevi Gunda Haldar. She's a cataract, cornea, and refractive eye surgeon. She's a medical director at Dr. Haldar's Orthovision Healthcare. She did her DNB ophthalmology from Arvind Eye Hospital, Madurai, and a long-term fellowship in cornea and anterior segment from Shroff's, Delhi. She's a visiting cornea consultant at Dr. Om Prakash's Eye Institute, Amritsar. Next is Dr. V. Devi Priya. She is a consultant medical retina and cataract at Sankara Eye Foundation, Coimbatore. She currently is a Chief Medical Officer of Coimbatore City Hospital, DNB faculty and community OT in charge, quality champion of the unit, and clinical audit assessor. She has multiple awards to her name, including Professor's. Okay, all right. So next we have Dr. Tejashri Sathe. She is director, Dr. Sathe Eye Clinic and Laser Center, Mumbai. Of special mention, she holds the privilege of being rank 6 in SSC Board of Examinations, and she was All India rank 1 in Post Diploma DNB CET. So, congratulations, Dr. Sathe, on that. And so, next is Dr. Tripti Sharma. She completed her long term fellowship in cataract and microsurgery from Shroff's Charity, New Delhi, currently working as consultant Zamindar Microsurgical Eye Center, Bangalore. And she's also heading their community center and children eye hospital. Next, we have Dr. Rupali Singh. She is consultant anterior segment and retina at Eye Care Hospital, Noida. She did her long-term fellowship from Venue Eye, and she did her MS ophthalmology from GMC Chandigarh. And we have Dr. Shruti Johns. She is consultant pediatric ophthalmology at MAJ Hospital, Kochi, and at Alfonsa Eye Hospital, Kerala. She is passionate about dancing and traveling.
Welcome to all the panelists, and thank you, Dr. Vibhuti, for introducing them so graciously. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Prasanna Venkatesh Ramesh to introduce our moderators. Over to you, Dr. Prasanna.
Thank you. Thank you, Nupur ma'am, Mohita ma'am, for this wonderful opportunity to be here at WS. I would like to introduce our first moderator, Dr. Raki D. Cruz, consultant phacosurgeon and medical retina specialist at Chaitanya Eye Institute, Kerala. Welcome, Raki. And moving on to the next moderator. Yeah, again, Nupur ma'am itself. Ma'am needs no introduction, but she is currently working as a consultant, anti-segment and oculoplasty at Eye Care Hospital, PG Institute, Noida, and also very active member of UC as well as WS. Next, I would like to invite again my fellow comrade, me and Dr. Vibhuti are the two people who are here invited by WOS. We are very grateful to it. Dr. Vibhuti Kashyap, who is a deputy director and head, Kashyap Memorial Eye Hospital, who is a specialized in retina, uvea, and ROP services in Ranchi. Warm welcome, Dr. Vibhuti. Yeah. Over to the next.
I'll introduce Dr. Prasanna. I'll introduce Dr. Prasanna Venkatesh Ramesh. He again needs no introduction. He's the current vice president of YWOS, and he's the managing committee member of YWOS, and he's also he's currently the head of the Mahatma research director and glaucoma head at Mahatma Eye Hospital, Trichy, India. So welcome, Dr. Prasanna, and with this, let us thank you, Dr. Prasanna. And yes, so with this, let's begin. Yes, let's begin with our first debate for today, which is marriage, marriage matters. So marriage before fellowship by Dr. Vaisakhi Prasannan, and followed by marriage after fellowship by Dr. Deepika Khurana. So this is in the form of a debate, but, just to make it a little interesting, but it's actually, we would love to hear the candid stories of all these speakers. So Dr. Vaisakhi, if you are ready, you can start sharing your screen and we can begin with the first presentation.
Thank you. Is the slide visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Dr. Vaisakhi.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, WS, for this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful webinar. Most of us would have gone through the dilemma or during or after our graduation, that is fellowship or marriage. Choosing the right fellowship is going to decide your entire career ahead, while by the end of your graduation, you would be nearly 28 or 30. And it's a good time to take decision about your personal life too. So what to do? All of us have had our own personal experience. So let's see, how is marriage before fellowship going to affect? A successful fellowship requires not only knowledge and skill, but also emotional resilience. We know that fellowship is going to be very demanding and stressful period of our professional training. It requires long working hours. We need to adjust to a new city or new hospital. We have financial uncertainties, high expectations, academic pressure, surgical learning curve, which is all very steep, and emotional stress. And hence, a strong support is always invaluable. Just imagine a bad surgical day, you had a complication, or you're having an exam tomorrow, or you have a research deadline. Who will help you to recover faster? a supportive spouse who will listen without judgment, encourage you, take care of your little things, and stand by you during your hard times, or an empty apartment where you have nobody to talk to, no encouragement, and you feel drained, overwhelmed, and take a longer time to bounce back. Obviously, the first one. So, having a spouse helps you to cope up with your heavy fatigue and stress and of transitioning from to a new specialty. You get the emotional support, you get energy to keep going, you can share your responsibilities, you can solve the problems together, and you can celebrate your small wins. Apart from that, you can get more financial stability and you can share your expenses because despite of an advanced training, usually fellowship salaries are very modest. So a dual earning or a two earning members can reduce the financial stress and improve the savings, and also it can decrease your dependence on your parents. Usually, the ideal time to plan your marriage is the end of your residency because the time is more flexible and predictable, and rather than going affecting your rigorous fellowship subspecialty fellowship time. So planning wedding is comparatively easier during this window. Also, apart from that, once the confusion and uncertainty about your fellow personal life is over, like who or where are you going to marry to, or how is your wedding going to be, if everything is already settled, you can focus on your fellowship in a better way. Also, there won't be any fellowship disruptions regarding wedding or other family functions, and you can focus better on your fellowship. One more thing is you can grow together. Usually, when the partners are experiencing or training together, they understand each other a better way. You can grow together. You get to know each other's strengths as well as vulnerability, and you can support each other. Like when your spouse is having a bad day, you can be a shoulder to lean on, and vice versa. So thus, both of you really see how each of you are working very hard, like for during an exam or like during your surgeries or during night duties or conferences. You know each other's hardships, and thus you can support each other in a better way. Also, you get a built-in routine and structure. You'll have a shared calendar regarding meal stores and sleep pattern. You can share your domestic tasks so that during your rotations, during your night duties, your chores won't pile up. Also, you get a grounding effect that there will be somebody to take away or transiently shift you from the hectic that stress of your work. Also, you get a predictive environment every day. Once you come home, you'll have a stable home environment every day. It will lower your cortisol level and reduce the decision fatigue after long shifts. Thus, a supportive spouse make your fellowship journey more stronger by managing the household responsibilities, sharing the finances, helping during illness, and providing a logistical support. This allows the fellow to focus more effectively on training and grow with confidence. Thus, marriage before fellowship lays a better foundation for a successful medical career. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vaisakhi, for sharing your thoughts on, for a successful medical career, that planning a marriage before fellowship. Now, before we move on to the panel discussion, I'd like to invite the next speaker, Dr. Deepika Khurana, to share her thoughts and her journey of, marriage after fellowship. Over to you, Dr. Deepika.
Thank you, Dr. Nupur. Thank you so much. Should I share my screen now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Before beginning, I want to thank you, everybody, Dr. Nupur for inviting me, Dr. Mohita, Dr. Swati, and the entire young moderators in Young WOS. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk. I am an oldie. At the outset, I would like to declare that because I passed out in 2013. So I have very little dilemmas and more anecdotes and experiences to share here about this very, very interesting topic. And I want to also thank Dr. Rakhi specifically because I believe this is her brainchild, right? A very relevant topic and a refreshing change from all the clinical talks. So, although we are structuring it as a debate or pitching it as a debate, at the heart of it, if you really ask me, it is not at all a debate. It is just about having open conversations about a topic which is so relevant to all of us, especially young women. In this time and age, it's 2026. Everybody is driven and career oriented, and everybody wants a perfect family life as well. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to creating the perfect work life balance. In my opinion, whether that is before marriage or after marriage, before baby or before or after baby, is a little bit immaterial because the goal is the same, right? Um, Very interesting to see Dr. Vaisakhi's PowerPoint, honestly. And I couldn't, if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to make flowcharts like that about my life. So well done on that. I want to say that she missed out on one small detail, having the perfect spouse. That never pictured in any of her slides. That is a very, very nice assumption and presumption that you have the right life partner. I feel that more than the timing of marriage or motherhood, it is extremely important who the life partner is. So for me personally, it was a little bit of a no-brainer, and I'll share that further down the slides. So is there even a right or wrong here, as we've already discussed? I think the answer is pretty simple. No. For everybody, it's a different journey. What is right for you might not be the perfect right for me at that time, right? And as they say, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So at any point of time, whatever decision making is happening, we do it to the best of our abilities, and then only after a few years we can gauge whether the decision making was right or not for our circumstances. We can make as many Excels and as many PowerPoints as we want and plan our life in a certain way in terms of age and timing and whatnot. But things are mostly not in our control going forward in life. So I feel life is actually what happens with us when we're busy making other plans. I'll just share my personal experience very quickly and without getting into any sort of preachiness, so to speak. I very specifically remember, I got married around 13 years ago. And one specific anecdote I want to share here. I had a small conversation with my uncle, my father's elder brother. So we hold him with high respect within the family. And this is when I was preparing for my PG or just in the first year of PG, I think, in Jaipur, where he very casually asked me, now that you are a doctor,
Deepika ma'am, we've lost your connection, I think.
Till then, should we start the discussion, Dr. Nupur?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
previous speaker gave a very nice presentation, and yeah, Dr. Deepika is back. So gave a very nice presentation as Dr.
Ma'am, you
Deepika said, there was that slide missing on finding that perfect spouse, because all her slides were talking about a perfect spouse, which may or may not be the condition. So if you ask me, finding a perfect spouse is the most difficult thing, and it all depends on what your destiny has. But what you could do with your life is you could be a happy person, because if you're a happy or positive person, things around you always become good. Now, Dr. Sridevi, are you there? I would like to ask you, in that finding that perfect spouse, would you recommend the members to
Sridevi.
find an ophthalmologist or a non-ophthalmologist? Because many of the slides said that he would understand you. So would an ophthalmologist understand you better, or a non-ophthalmologist? Would a doctor understand you better, or a non-doctor profession understand you better?
First of all, thank you so much. I think everybody can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Sridevi, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, you, Dr. Sridevi.
Yeah. So,
can I join back? Power connection. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just hear from Dr. Sridevi about her thoughts about a question, and then we'll
yeah,
take
can
your
you hear me
presentation,
now?
Dr. Deepika. Yeah. Yes. Dr. Sridevi, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Dr. Sridevi, we are waiting to hear from you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry for the interruption. I think my internet connection got interrupted. But I think it's not very much necessary that you should meet an ophthalmologist, or maybe things would be a little easier if it was an ophthalmologist. But I mean, it has its own pros and cons. And not that other doctors are, I mean, they're not very understanding or anything like that. They are very much in the same profession, same set of training, and with the same set of values. So I think it hardly makes a difference.
So it doesn't make a difference according to you. It can be anybody. It can be a doctor. It can be a non-doctor. It may be ophthalmologist or not an ophthalmologist.
Yeah, but a doctor would be a definitely a good option rather than being a non-medical or somebody from the other profession.
And what if the person is an ophthalmologist and that person starts competing with you?
That's very much possible.
How will you kill that competition? You have to grow in your professional life. How would you grow and get not be in a competitive mode?
Yeah, that definitely comes, man. I think every human being feels has that kind of complex, superiority or an inferiority complex. So it's the way you take it. I mean, at the end of the day, we are earning for our family. We are trying to make our lives better, and we are working towards the same goal. So I think it shouldn't make a difference. So that level of understanding should be equal in both the partners. I think that is what matters.
Okay. So I think Dr. Deepika can listen if she's ready.
Yes, Deepika ma'am, you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apologies, there was a power outage at my end. Extremely sorry about that. I'll just, should I restart from where I left off? Talking about
Yeah,
very
where you left.
conversation with my uncle who casually asked me, now that I was done with MBBS and was technically a doctor, he asked me when I want to get married, and at that time I was not seeing anybody or anything like that. There was nobody to get married to instant. So I very casually said, let me focus on my PG, and I can't even think about getting married at this point. I want to become an ophthalmologist first. And as luck would have it, I ended up enrolling straight into a 2-year fellowship after my PG. So there was basically no break. And all this while, borderline, like low key, I was meeting a few people here and there, arranged by my parents, you know. But as it turned out, I wasn't made for the arranged marriage market, to so to speak. And okay,
Ma'am, can you put it on slideshow mode?
ultimately
Your
ended up meeting my wonderful. Is it? It is on the slideshow mode now.
it's got unshared now. The screen has got unshared.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me retry. Sorry.
I think even if she speaks without the slides, it's okay. They are not getting shared.
I don't know why I can't share it again now. I'm not seeing the option only.
You want to
Yeah.
continue without the
Last try.
slides? That's all.
Last try. One
Yeah.
last try.
Yes. Yes.
Is it better?
We're still waiting. Yeah. Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so as I was saying, I ended up enrolling into fellowship right after the PG, and then ended up meeting my present wonderful husband in the middle of my fellowship, at the end of my cataract fellowship, and just before my plasty one began. And things kind of rather swiftly moved on because of the family's involvement. And as much as we might be in denial, but yeah, obviously I was in my late 20s at that time, so everybody was in a rush to get me married. So basically, I ended up getting married at the fag end of my fellowship, and I was like, okay, life is sorted. Wow, I'm done with my fellowship. Let's like basically head on into marriage full time now and devote ourselves. But little did I know that this is a lifelong journey of work life balance, and the journey had just begun. So I feel being married and not being married is not as important as being married to the right person. Timing is variable for everybody, and there's no right and wrong there. Looking back, would I change anything? Probably no, not. But were there any challenges that I got married towards the fag end of my fellowship and then started my married life? Not that I can think of anything off the top of my head. The only thing I would probably reconsider is if I had another chance, I would want to probably spend more time alone with my husband as a couple before jumping into maternity and parenthood. But that said, even that has not been a regret at all, and I wouldn't change anything if I had the chance to. And of course, that discussion is the next debate in the program tonight. Only thing that I would want to tell my younger self is that I want to remind her that I was doing the absolute best that I could with the cards that life had given me at that point of time, and I should be proud of myself. And that's just a picture or two of me and my small little happy family. In the end, I just want to say that may all our choices reflect our hopes and not our fears. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deepika ma'am, for that very inspiring talk. And of course, I've known you, as a senior from my post graduation, and you were always, one of the most inspiring people to look up to. And thank you for this inspiring talk. So over
That's
to
rather
you,
kind of
Mohita
you.
ma'am.
Thank you, Nupur.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Nupur, what I like about her is she's a very positive person, and that is why her last two slides that whatever choices you make, you should be happy about them. And if you, as I said, if you spread happiness, everything goes positive, whether it is before fellowship or it is after fellowship. She would have done good, whether it was before or whether it was after. She would have been
I
the
would
same.
like to believe that as well. Thank you.
So. So, any of the panelists, would you like to comment on this and share?
I
Can
think
we
we can
ask
have,
a few
yeah.
questions?
It,
Yeah. Yeah, ma'am. Swati
yes.
ma'am, you want to ask any
No,
question to the
yeah, no,
panelists?
that's okay. We can hear it from our male panelist also. How do they feel taking a spouse, having a spouse whom, is in the fellowship program or after the fellowship program? Vibhuti?
Hi, ma'am. Actually, when I got married to my wife, she was yet to join a fellowship, and she had her own concerns about how is it gonna pan out. So I think the speakers were right. The spouse, I mean the husband has to be supportive of it, and I like to believe I was supportive enough. There was no family pressure. I made sure of the fact that there is no personal foundations, there are no strict timelines, and there are no unnecessary emotional baggages, and that I have to be available for her all the time. So that part of it, and yes, she had her off days. So I would like to believe I was available to the best of my knowledge and belief. But I have also been a mentor to now six female fellows in my fellowship and my DNB program, and to be honest, as a mentor and as a third party away from the husband and wife relationship, I believe that what's most important is an understanding mentor, a mentor who can have a touch of personal relation with you, and who can understand your interpersonal equations with your family, and who can give you space, and who can give you that comfort of understanding, and a requirement of a leverage. Say your husband is in town, or your husband's parents are in town, and you need leave, so there should not be a ruckus about how you can take leave during a fellowship. Small nitty-gritties make a lot of difference in these fellows life if you tend to understand them personally, and it makes their lives a lot easier. I mean, before marriage, after marriage, then that equation gets driven out of the scenario if you have a mentor who can understand your equation at that point of time.
Yes, Dr. Vibhuti, that's very well said. So I'd like to ask Dr. Tripti, if you can just, quickly share a bit about your marriage journey and how important is it, to choosing the right life partner compared to choosing the right timing. So over to you, Dr. Tripti, for a quick comment on that.
Yeah, thank you, Nupur. I'm Dr. Tripti. I'm from Bangalore. working in Zamindar Eye Hospital with Dr. Samina Zamindar. And yeah, my journey, everyone, I mean, my close friends know very well. So Deepika was there. We in fact met our life partners at the same time. We have seen our journeys together. And for me, timing is more important. Not like in my early years, I was always believing in the concept that, get your studies over, finish everything, and then enter into marriage, plan a baby. But later on, I decided more than timing, it was about the partner. Like everyone said, a good partner will make everything easy for you, and we can deal with all of that together, all the challenges and all the ups and downs and all that. So yeah, for me also the right partner came at the right time. So both of them happened in exactly the same way as we all wanted. And yeah, and for me also, I think a non-medico is a better option. Me and Deepika both have luckily
Wholeheartedly agree.
luckily found non-medicals in our life,
I too
and
agree on that.
yeah, very happy. I'm talking for Deepika also here.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tripti. Dr. Shruti, are you there? Dr. Shruti John? I think Dr. Shruti is not it. Over to you, Dr. Rakhi, to ask the next panelist the question. Yeah. Rakhi, you're on mute.
Dr. Shruti is there. So I'll just ask a question. Shruti ma'am, can you unmute? I can see her there. I think she's not able to unmute. Okay, then. Then we'll go to the next question, Dr. Devi Priya ma'am.
I am here.
Yeah.
I couldn't unmute before.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. So tell us
Yeah.
a bit about your journey. Can marriage become a strength during fellowship, or does it inevitably become an added responsibility during fellowship? Your journey.
As as everybody said, I would say it is each one's journey is different, and having the right partner is the key. But one point I would say is earlier marriage would help. I don't know for everybody or no. Younger we are, we get adjusted more. The older we become, we may not get adjusted as much. Like, when we are just finished MBBS, we have our crowns lesser. Like when we finish our PG, we become, even if we don't take that baggage as a crown, but we feel we have finished our PG, we have finished our fellowship, then again another feather to the crown. So our adjustments may little lack. So maybe as youngsters, for me, I had a very early marriage. So I would say as younger you are, you may be ready to get adjusted to your scenarios better. It can be for fellowship, it can be for marriage. So if you can balance both together, and the key is always the right partner, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a non-medico, that person matters. Each one fits with each person. So if that jigsaw puzzle uh, correctly matches, you are lucky enough. So the journey is not going to be easy for any woman anywhere, not only in our profession, anywhere, because the baggages are always on our head more than anybody else's. So as the society changes, it's changing. Nowadays, it's changing, but yet it is still there. So if you have a right partner who can balance it for you, everything becomes smoother. So it is a right partner, I would say. The only point I would say earlier marriage would help is maybe the younger age we will be ready to adjust a bit more than, for me it was like that. 20s whatever I would adjust at 20s, I wouldn't adjust in my 30s. And as every year, or if I now have crossed 40, so 40 you wouldn't be ready to take any nonsense. So that age makes you mature. So that way adjustment would be a bit more. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Nupur, I have a comment to make. I can hear everybody is saying if you find the right partner. So that if is not in our hands completely. So now this sentence that if
Yes.
tells us that first finish your fellowship and then after that go into the gamble of your finding the right partner or wrong partner because you've at least done your fellowship.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's also a right way of thinking, actually.
I
Like
think,
if
I
you're
think,
thinking
Is
so
us
for
I
saying
think,
if you find the right
yes.
partner. So obviously you cannot be sure how your partner would turn out to be. you may have made the best attempts to find the right partner, but you may or may not succeed. So at least do your fellowship.
I think it's
Yeah.
very important for every woman
And
to
one
have a
question is coming to
focus.
my
Yeah.
mind. Sorry, Nupur, I'm
Yeah.
asking too many questions, but suddenly that's coming to my
No,
mind. So one
please, ma'am.
question is
Yes.
coming to my mind for the panelists, and which is sec. One, which is suppose you decide to first get married and then do a fellowship. This is for the benefit of all the young ones who are hearing. So your inputs would be useful in this. Then what option is better? Should you do the fellowship where you are staying so that you can come back home every day, or should you do a fellowship which is outstation so that you are fully engrossed in your fellowship, and that disturbance of a family life does not happen? So which is a better option according to you? Because this is what I find, that when fellows come to join in our institute, uh, uh, somewhere I find a difference, that the ones who are staying with their family are able to devote less time compared to the ones who came and started staying there from outstation. So what do you think is the better option? I don't know how they would be feeling, but what the panelists need to answer this.
So,
Swati, you want?
any
Yeah.
relationship needs time. So, be it your parents, your husband or spouse or your children, you need to give them time. So you have to strike the right balance. I mean, whenever you are in a relationship, so it's not just about fellowship or anything.
In
I
a
mean,
fellowship,
fellowship
what
is
is your
just a part of your
recommendation?
life.
Yeah.
I
Ma'am,
I did my
okay, I'll not interrupt. Sorry, ma'am.
no, go on.
Yeah.
So I also got married before fellowship, and I chose to stay nearby. My parents and my husband and everybody was in Delhi, so I chose Venu because of that only, because I wanted to stay near them, and I don't regret it because I was taken care of. Every day, mom used to send me lunch, or my mother-in-law used to send me lunch or dinner. I used to get home cooked food, and whenever I was late, nobody said anything like you can't come late or you cannot devote more time to your fellowship. So I worked as much as I could, and I was well taken care of. So that's all from my side. So I don't think it's a bad idea to stay near your family doing fellowship.
Anybody else?
I would say what ma'am said is right, that staying away from the family would be a better choice if you're more focused on what you want to achieve during the fellowship. Because the late hours which we can spend or more hours, we will be balancing with the family. If we are near the family, like we would try to get out as soon as possible, or maybe at the correct time when we are relieved. But if you are alone, we may spend that extra time in the library or doing some thesis or something. I did it with my family, with my baby. And so I could, I regret that actually, because when I look back, I think, okay, if I had spent a little more time, maybe could I have done better. That thing was there in my mind.
True. So even I would agree with that, that when you're doing a fellowship, so you need to be more focused. So probably the place of fellowship where I want to go, my choice of fellowship would, whether it's close to the family or away from the family will matter. I went to LVP because probably I felt that I had only 2 years or 3 years with me, where I could have a support. I mean, I can devote this time away from family. So that is how it worked for me. So I mean, everybody could have a different perspective to it, because everybody's support system is different. So I think, ma'am, it also depends on the kind of support system that you have. So for every individual, that would differ. So you have to, you have to see what works for you, and you have to make that call. And as Dr. Deepika said, that ultimately, whatever choice you make, everything is right. You have to make work for you. Yeah, Deepika, ma'am,
Can
please
I
go ahead.
speak? I just want to say that it totally and completely depends upon your support system during fellowship, whether that is your parents or the family you're born into, or it is the family that you're married into. If it's an arranged marriage and you've recently met your husband, etc., etc., it totally completely depends upon the understanding level. Because if there is not much understanding and if it's a beginning of a new relationship for a lifetime, then you're adding another layer of complexity by moving cities, and you're just making everything more complicated. And nobody would say that a long distance relationship is very easy to do, right? Especially after marriage. So if that understanding is there, or if you've been dating for a few years before getting married, then it's a different ball game, and everybody would understand. Both sides of the family would be supporting you. But if it's a different, like arranged kind of a setup with new relationships and new people, then it's a different ball game, I guess.
So I would like to give a comment here. During my training time also, I had my little one with me. So there were days when I used to go before she wakes up, and the time when I come back, she might have already slept. And during those days, there was that bad guilt, that mom's guilt that was weighing me down because she was just 2.5 year old. I was not able to see her face with open eyes. So those days actually, because of that, that pulled me back from dedicating more time for towards my training. Because I used to rush as much as fast as I could so that I can actually see her before she falls asleep. So I think, as Mohita ma'am said, so whenever you're devoting some time for your training, I think it's better that the family is little away.
Prasanna, we want to hear something from you.
Yes, ma'am. I just commented now. So I got married soon after internship, ma'am. I think another panelist mentioned. So it was my teenage girlfriend, and we were dating for 4 to 5 years. So as you told, I did not have any sense when I entered college, and I don't know how somebody liked me also. And then suddenly, soon after my MBBS final year exam, I was coming down. My parents and her parents were talking, and they asked me, do you both want to get married? And we thought, okay, that time still we are young, but 12, 13 years back, relationship was all about culmination in marriage. We never had the definitions of today's world. So when the proposal came, we both told okay. And we had our first daughter in 23 years, 24 years. She's now in seventh standard. So I feel what worked for me, as all the uh, senior ophthalmologists here, as well as my colleagues and friends told, the support system of both families felt it will be good. And we were both young parents, and we took a gap of 7 years to 8 years between our first daughter and second daughter. So our second daughter is in UKG now. So we felt we were ready only for one child, and then we had to take a gap between the first and second, both our daughters. And that's my experience. I feel very honored to be among such young ophthalmologists, especially women ophthalmologists, because I am surrounded by girls. I am staying with my grandmother and my wife, of course, my two daughters. So this is my support system, and I feel uh, at a very early age, even my grandmother is she's a young great grandmother for my daughters. So I feel the support system is what makes us what we are. Thank you, ma'am.
The women are always supportive, Dr. Prasanna. There is no doubt about that. We are
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
about support from men.
Ma'am, support from men, I agree, ma'am. I am the least supportive person for all the five people. But with colleagues like Nupur ma'am, Raki, I've learned a lot that we also should support them. So consciously now I'm asking my grandmother, my mom, my wife, my daughters, please let me know what I am not doing correctly. And each week I'm trying to correct one list in their bucket and trying to be a better role in each one of their lives. I agree, ma'am. They are very unconditionally towards us. Men are from Mars, so we are working towards Venus, ma'am. Thank you.
That's why we have called you here.
Yes, ma'am. I'll work on. I'm still work in progress, and I'll become a better
Since you are the
male in their life.
next
Yes,
president of UC,
yes,
once
ma'am.
we train you for being supportive, you will train all others.
Done, ma'am. We'll lead by example and make all the men as well as the women proud in WAS as well as all the associations.
Vibhuti, we
Thank you.
already know is very supportive, and he has groomed so many fellows in retina, women fellows in retina, and they are an example. So for everybody, some of them are too good. So Vibhuti, thank you for this.
Always.
So I think with this, we'll move on to the next debate. We'll have comments from Dr. Devi Priya and Dr. Tejashri for the next debate. And yeah, so let's begin by the next speaker, Dr. Nilufar, if you can give your
Yeah,
presentation.
I'll
She'll be
just share
speaking
my
about
screen.
Yes, please go
It
ahead.
was very nice listening to all the conversation about marriage before fellowship, after fellowship, choosing the right partner, and all. So let's move on to the next topic where we will be discussing about balancing motherhood and fellowship training. First of all, I would like to thank WOS for inviting me to speak on this topic and share my experiences uh, during residency and fellowship. Looking back, what I have realized is that balancing motherhood and ophthalmology training was never about achieving perfection. It was all about learning to adapt, accept, and help and keep moving forward. So, to start with, I got married in 2011 to an IT professional who is a BITSAP Pilani alumni. And soon after a couple of days of my marriage, I joined MS Ophthalmology residency at Sarojini Devi Eye Hospital, Hyderabad. In 2013, during the later part of my residency, I was blessed with my daughter Zoya. I took only 1 month of maternity leave and then returned to work for initially 4 to 6 hours a day. And during my absence, my in-laws used to take care of my daughter, and my husband was helping me out too. Actually, it was a little getting difficult for my mother-in-law because of her osteoarthritis. By then, my parents relocated to Hyderabad, and my father was working in BITS campus. And my husband, who was working for a Bangalore-based company, started working with his team from the incubation center of BITS. We all stayed in BITS campus. It was quite a bit of travel for me, but then I was assured that my daughter was well taken care and I could focus on my academics. Then life settled into a new rhythm where my mornings were spent in the hospital, and post the clinical work, I used to study for a couple of hours with my friends, and evenings were dedicated to my daughter. As the final exams approached, I spent longer hours studying in the library. I completed my residency successfully, and even before my MS results were out, I was selected for the comprehensive 3 years long-term fellowship at LV Prasad Eye Institute. All this would have been possible without the support of my husband and my parents who lovingly cared for my daughter when I was focusing on my academics. Uh, there's Just before joining, I was pregnant with my second child, Zayan. To be honest, I was very anxious. My husband and I met the assistant director of education to openly discuss about my situation. That conversation taught me an important lesson that pregnancy is not necessarily a barrier to training. As long as you are able to manage your health and focus on training with proper planning, transparency, and good communication, it is quite possible to manage your pregnancy during the training. I inform my consultants and co-fellows, and it became easier to take short breaks whenever required, while ensuring that my clinical work and academic presentations of specialty continued smoothly. As my pregnancy progressed, especially around 37 weeks, because of the long outpatient clinic and OT days, it became physically very demanding. And around the same time, my daughter developed pneumonia and she was to be admitted to the hospital. That was probably one of the most emotionally challenging periods of my training. I felt that I was unable to do justice to both my family and my fellowship. So I decided to take maternity leave even before delivery. After 4 months of maternity leave, I joined back my training when my son was about 3 months old. It was my retina rotation that time. I initially took short breaks for breastfeeding, but gradually he adjusted to top feeds and early weaning, allowing me to resume my full schedule and finish my first year rotation in different subspecialty. In the second year, during the secondary center posting, I was in Adilabad for 1 year. I moved there with both my children, stayed in a rented apartment. One of my parents always used to stay with me throughout that period, while my husband traveled every alternate week to be with us. Despite the challenges, that phase gave me a precious moment with my children. I could drop my daughter to school every morning and spend evenings taking both of them to the park. Those simple moments remain some of my happiest memory during the fellowship days. The most difficult phase was during my third year of cornea and anterior segment fellowship. For the first 2 months, I stayed most of the days in the hostel because of intensive wet lab practice, PK training, and academic commitments. And some of the days, I was not able to see my kids for a couple of days. It was very there was a lot of disappointment that time. There were days when I genuinely thought of quitting, but my mentors believed in me, and my husband encouraged me to continue. And my colleagues supported me tremendously during long OT days, add-on days, where they were willingly share, supporting to share additional cases whenever I needed support. I successfully completed my 3 years long-term fellowship in December 2017. Looking back today, what I realize is that my success was never an individual achievement. It was all built on determination, supportive mentors, understanding colleagues, and incredible family support. That's what I can really say. I had a strong, very strong family support to help me navigate this journey. Today, my children have grown up and are becoming independent individuals. As a mother, as we all understand, our responsibility never truly ends. They simply evolve with every stage of our children's life. One message that I would like to give to every young woman ophthalmologist is that motherhood and professional excellence are not mutually exclusive. They can go parallelly. There will be difficult days, there will be guilt, there will be moments when you question yourself, but with planning, communication, and a strong family support and perseverance, it is possible to become both a dedicated ophthalmologist and a loving mother. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nilofer. So, knowing you since fellowship, I know how hard you have worked. I was there with you, and
Yeah.
truly, so when this topic came, I just knew that you were the right person to talk about it, because I had seen you personally, and Nilofer's made it sound so simple and easy, but I had seen her. I don't think I have seen her being late to any of the classes, missing any of her duties, never, telling anybody to adjust for her. So I think hats off, and of course your support system has been very strong,
Yeah,
but
that I
you also
agree.
balanced it beautifully, and yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Nilofer.
Nupur,
With this,
yeah.
we'll move on to the next speaker, and then, yeah. Thank you, Nilofer. Dr. Sonali, if you can start sharing your presentation,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
we'll have the panel discussion.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mohita ma'am, Swati ma'am, Nupur ma'am, and the entire team of YWOS for inviting me. I'll share my journey with you. Are the slides visible?
The slides are visible. Just put it on slideshow.
Okay.
Yeah, this one. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
So, frankly, I didn't have my daughter early in my training because I wanted some career stability. And not that I had planned it perfectly, I made a choice that I wanted to be more patient and more mature before entering into motherhood than I was when I was 28. But what I didn't really calculate was everything that the later would still demand of me. And the invisible, we all know the invisible labor that nobody ever talks about. The night feeds, the diaper changes, the sleepless nights, and the OT-less never waits for any of this. Whenever my child fell sick, the leaves had to be taken, and the vaccination schedules, the night duties, the emergency surgeries had to be taken care of. I think that is something that even Nilufer ma'am had to go through during her fellowship, and even more so than what you have to do during your consultancy. But once again, none of the full-time working would have been possible. I was working at eye care at that time. It wouldn't have been possible with a full support system at my home. I had my in-laws, and my parents used to travel whenever required to help me with my child. Her name is Navya. So with every feed, with every nap, small emergencies that I wasn't there for, and that's not it, because even at the hospital, I had full support of my colleagues and my seniors who would cover for me, and they did not make me reprove myself. And after that 7 month long break, I will tell you honestly that I was afraid. Not that because I had lost my skills or anything, but I did not know if I would be able to do the same. Um, I would be able to do what I was doing earlier. But yes, my seniors and my colleagues, they helped me during my work, during my surgeries. They were not just surgical mentors, but they were also their own motherhood journeys helped me a lot. I could have live examples of my senior colleagues and my colleagues who were on a steady path and were, I felt that at a better position of in their career as well as in their um motherhood journey than I was. So they were someone I could look up to. So I took my break for 7 months. Uh, so when I came back, the thing is, with all the support that I had from my family and my colleagues, I came back stronger. I remember the cases that I had operated, the kind of cases that I did before my during my consultancy, before my motherhood journey. I did even better cases. I did more complicated cases. I moved up in my surgical career journey also. Uh, yes, so even during my work at eye care, I had initially joined full time, and then due to my need at due to the fact that my daughter needed me, there was some period, a 3 month period where I had to work part time. But once again, I adjusted, my family adjusted, and I joined full time till January of 2026, where I took a complete break for till June of 2026. And then I have started working part time now. So some people, it's not that it is indecision on my part, but sometimes managing surgical career and my daughter is, this is what it looks like. And I would tell you that there is no perfect timeline and there is no version of this where I would get it right in the first attempt. And every one of us is solving a different equation. Everyone has a different support system. Everyone is dealing in a different subspecialty. Your children are different, and I will not compare my chapter to yours. And I'm just learning from my own experience and yours. Uh, Last, life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and balance is not achieved in a single day. It is built steadily, quietly over the years. And there are days where I get it wrong, and then there are days where I get it right. It's not a setback at all, it's a lovely chapter and in a long journey of life, and it's worth every mile. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sonali. So we've seen you through your, motherhood
Yes, ma'am, you
journey,
supported
and
me.
I
You
think the
supported me
only
a lot, ma'am.
advice.
You supported me a lot, ma'am. All my yes. Please.
So ma'am,
I have
when
something to say,
Dr.
Nupur.
Sonali was going
Yes,
for a
ma'am.
maternity leave, I think everybody. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, you complete first. Complete first.
Yeah, so I was just telling that when Sonali, can you unshare your screen
Oh,
once? Yeah.
sure, ma'am. Sure,
So,
ma'am.
ma'am, when Sonali was going for a maternity leave, I think every single person at eye care, it's a female, all female. Most of us are female consultants. So, every person just gave her one, Sonali, you are coming back. Make sure that you're not leaving job, you're not leaving your work. Whatever it is, you're coming back either to eye care or somewhere, but you are not, extending this break. This was, I think, one single advice this was given to her by all of us, each of us. So this is all.
Yes.
This is all I have to add.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, please over to
I
you. Please go ahead,
That's
ma'am.
very true, ma'am. I had a lot of support and I was told never to quit. And even though I've taken this break that I hadn't really planned for a few months, but I still remember all of my seniors' words that you are not going to quit. And whatever time is required, you take that time, come back however you want to. Come back as a part time, come back as a full time, but don't leave. So, yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, Dr.
So,
Nupur,
Rali, just unshare your screen once. Yes, ma'am.
so after hearing all these talks, I have a comment to make. All the speakers have been talking on similar lines. My family was very supportive. My husband was very good. My mother-in-law was very good. My Everybody around me was very, very supportive. I don't believe that everything can be so hunky dory because that's not normal. There has to be some of the other challenges which were there, which they are not sharing fully, and of course because it is a social media platform. And for this, what I would like to say to all of you is, first and foremost, as a woman, give credit to yourself. Everything becomes supportive towards you if you decided you wanted to do this. Since you made that decision and you decided that I have to do this, everybody has no choice but to become supportive to you. Probably that was your case. So, as women, we forget to give credit to ourselves and we keep giving credit to everybody around us. So, that's what I want to tell you, that you are the ones who deserve the credit first and foremost, then comes everybody else.
Absolutely, ma'am. That is absolutely spot on. So,
In a
as ma'am spoke about challenge.
Yeah, in a forum like this where we have so many seniors, juniors, etc., it's like each becomes a role model for the other. For me, some of the juniors are like role models. For them, some of us may be role models because when we see, the whole idea was also this, that when we see that others could do it, of course we can also do it. We are always adding a disclaimer in every talk. Every journey is different, but these journeys are almost the same. I wouldn't say that they are very different. They are almost the same. So we have to. There are only, I think, two, three kind of stories, and which fit for everybody, and we have to find which is our path.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Swati,
Absolutely.
I completely agree with you, Dr. Mohita, because I feel, you know, it's the focus of a female that gets her to whatever she wants, whether it's before fellowship, or marriage before fellowship, or a child before fellowship. If you are not focused, people are going to decenter you anyways. And it's everybody, they will put you like, you have to take care of your family, even your parents. I would not say your partner is unsupportive. Even your parents would think otherwise, your in-laws would think otherwise, your children would also think otherwise, that why is my mama going and working when others mama is at home. So there are lots of challenges that you face, and the path is absolutely, because if men takes a break, a paternity leave, it's something that we all talk about. But if a woman takes a maternity leave, it's something that she has to do. So I think the challenges are completely different. And a men and a women doing a fellowship or not doing a fellowship, or whatever the career path they choose, it is extremely difficult for a woman to actually grow and come to a point, whatever may be the level. Fellowship is not as important as it seems to be, but definitely you grow to a certain level to this. So I feel the path is extremely difficult. The stories shared are the best. Like, you have a very good, the grass is very green on all the sides, I feel, but it's not likely that for most of the women. It's just the tip of the iceberg that we are seeing, and it's a lot more to be done. So I think I agree with Dr. Mohita. It's just give credit to yourself for whatever, stage or step that you have taken, wherever you are there, and wherever you have become, and whatever you want to do in future, because the responsibilities are not going to go away. So I think that's very important to have a pat on the back for yourself.
Absolutely, Moita ma'am and Swati ma'am, and thank you for making us this belief that we have to keep reminding us to pat ourselves on the back. I think this is very, very important, and we always forget that. So thank you, ma'am, for
let's pat the back of all the four speakers.
making us
Actually, they
remember
deserve
that and telling
deserve
us that.
that pat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, making your
So,
life in
ma'am,
four
you also
slides
said
is
that
very tough.
tough.
Yeah.
Yes. So, ma'am, you said that nobody has shared their challenges. So, I'll request now Dr. Devi Priya and Dr. Tejashri, our panelists, to share their challenges of motherhood. Like, what challenges did you face? Just a bit about when you planned your motherhood and what challenges you faced in your journey. Let's leave the since we were the good side, as ma'am said, we would also like to hear the challenges that you have faced. So, over to you, Dr. Devi Priya.
Yeah, I had my child and marriage as well. Marriage and child. Like as Mohita ma'am said, there are two sides of the journey. Like marriage, actually, after fellowship and before fellowship. It's like
Yeah.
after fellowship and before fellowship. It's like we got married. So I enjoyed the journey completely. Whereas he had this anxiety and insecurity of cracking the exams or where we would go and all. One good thing was since I had completed, I became the support system. I traveled along with him. He did his DM endocrinology in Calcutta and we went together. So it was like my challenge was I was working too. Where my biggest challenge was to leave my daughter in a creche and go to work when she was 1 year old. But then I would say that is also my triumph because I took enough break. Took a break of 1 year to take care of her completely. And even when she was 5 years old, I took care of her. In addition to maintaining my work, this was possible only because I complete my fellowship and I was a medical retina consultant and I had that salary. I was able to support my family and stay there comfortably as well. And this became my triumph also because my daughter today has grown into a very independent and she takes her own decisions. She's now a 14-year-old teenager. Unlike other teenagers, she's mentally pretty stable and she takes care of herself and family very well. And I would say that is the reason why.
Thank you, Dr. Mohita, for sharing your challenge and triumph. Dr. Tejashree, you have, I think, a little different timeline with respect to your marriage and baby. So over to you, and you can just share the challenge that you faced. Over to you, Dr. Tejashree.
First of all, thank you for inviting me over here. Basically, I got married during my DNB itself, and I got conceived during final year of my DNB. So earlier, I was determined that I will manage somehow with help of my great seniors like Dr. Karan Bhatia was a immediate senior, my Arvind. So in Arvind Pondicherry, everything was new to me from the language till the time even my thesis guide Dr. Manavi Sindhil, she was a retina consultant, she was very supportive about it till the time I am sincere. But the time became upside down when I had spotting. So the moment I had spotting, there was no one around me, and I remember my retina senior had taken me for USG scan, and that was something where right now also I'm getting those goosebumps, where I had to travel for 2 hours just for getting one USG done. And my mom being pediatrician, she thought of something like ectopic pregnant, like one ectopic getting ruptured or whatnot. Then after that, I was put on progesterone injection, for which I was advised bed rest and no travel. So suddenly from residency uh, to the Pondicherry, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, in-laws and my parents had to shift their base. So now from Maharashtra, we did not know even the language where we are supposed to live. I am put on bed rest in my hostel. I must thank all my friends, my seniors, that they really took care of me in that 3 to 4 days, which were literally very important because at hostel, since everybody at Arvind had to work from 7 to 7, they had to manage the work and get me taken care of in rotation. And I would definitely thank them all for that. And then it became, as you were saying, ma'am, it is not always easy mode. It was a tough time because my mom dad were pediatricians, so adjusting hospital, getting leave, and who will come on rotation with me. And then I had to take 5 weeks stat leave from my DNB career, which I will have to later on cover up. So that was really difficult, but once the progesterone and the first trimester got over, everybody was supportive enough. They knew that I want to do it sincerely. My DNB co-guide spoke with my mother, and my mother was assured that she'll do it. So later on, I gave my theory, and when at Narayan Netralaya with my 40-year-old baby, I went along with the whole team of my in-laws, my parents, my husband. During the whole episode, there were ups and downs definitely because when you don't get to do the surgical work the whole day as a resident, when you are given 1 day whole surgery time and you're not able to complete because of some frequency whatsoever, you do compromise on your training. That kind of, and another thing, passing DNB and the practicals. When everybody was studying for the cases, I was feeding my child and awake. Everything was really, but now when I see, I had made sure that first attempt is my best attempt, so I had to get it done in that first go itself. And definitely my all colleagues, my friends and my family were supportive, though they had to slog along with me. But in the end, it was when I see this after 10 years, it was worth it. I just came out of it with the support system, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tejashi. I think as Dr. Swati mentioned, another pat for yourself on the back, for your wonderful journey. Rakhi, would you like to add? Ma'am Swati, ma'am, you would like to add something?
No, I think, yeah, please. Please, Deepika,
Can I
you go
speak?
ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate Dr. Tejashree. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. This is so true. And even Dr. Nilofer, all your journeys are so tough. And I think we don't really honestly give ourselves enough credit for being so resilient. And as Dr. Mohita and Dr. Swati were saying as well, I think over a period of time, we just tend to ebb down and forget about the challenging parts of our journeys and tend to remember all the good parts and the highlights. And yeah, so I think absolutely agreed. We need to give ourselves more credit as well for being so resilient.
Thank you.
If I may interrupt, actually, if you are given a choice whether to have fellowship and pregnancy together, and I would rather suggest separated by a timeline, actually, because you can enjoy both these things very well, actually. The only one thing that's common between fellowship and motherhood is both these things require the entire you to be available at the time. So if you compromise on one thing, you either have a maternal guilt or a professional guilt. In order to solve that, the better choice would be complete your fellowship and then plan your motherhood. After all, once or twice we are going to become mother. So enjoy the journey thoroughly. And also, a child, when the child grows between 0 to 5 years of age, is something like the child grows so rapidly, and every day is important. And I feel that we should not miss it at all. It's once or twice in a lifetime opportunity.
So I would so obviously there are two sides of the same coin. So I had my daughter. When I joined my fellowship, my daughter was 7 months old. So but I completed my fellowship. I think I did pretty well. So what I felt, this is my perspective, that once I completed my fellowship, I could continue with my surgical skills. If you go for a motherhood after fellowship, probably you take that break, and again your confidence may come down a bit. This is just my perspective. Obviously nothing was planned for me. I have my own journey. So again, it's I think it all depends on your support system, on what you think, and sometimes some things cannot be planned. So that's
None of us are talking about the dreaded biological clock here. The pressure is
correct.
real, whether it
Yeah.
is said or unsaid, whether in-laws or parents
Yeah.
say it or not, the pressure is very much there. I know I was under it, and I feel very silly looking back at it because we could have easily planned it better, you know. But then you think you're in your 30s and the world is coming to an end. Oh my God, let's have a baby.
Yeah. Prasanna and Vibhuti, just a very as suppose just Dr. Tejashree's co-residence. Imagine, like, not senior or junior, just and Dr. Tejashree has to take breaks, for her this thing. You have to do extra duties. So what's your? Obviously, it's like I would like to hear that thought process.
I would probably ask what Dr. Tejashree makes best in kitchen, and probably feed me some of it to bribe me to do her work. And I'm gonna happily be replacing her in all her duties. Not a problem. As long as you feed me good food, Dr. Tejashree, I'm all yours.
Nice, perfect.
Prasanna.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, again, I was a young parent, as I told in my previous lecture when the lecture got over. So, ironically, my wife also was a young mother at 23. So, we were doing PG together when we had our first daughter. But as I totally agree, so night duties, since we were together in the same place, mostly it was I was doing the night duties, and she was taking care of the baby during the daytime. And our HOD was also very supportive. So the place where we did together, so her duties, he told that, okay, you manage or you exchange among yourself. So the nursing care and the lactating program that they had, so they were very supportive. I feel for young ophthalmologists, I think especially women who are having the kid very early during PG or fellowship, the support system not only matters from the parents, of course, the spouse, as well as the workplace also makes a difference, because the workplace should make them feel that they are not guilty, that they are not doing the rounds or they are not doing work correctly. So all the colleagues there took really good care, and I think that made a difference. And yes, ma'am, husbands also make a difference. That time I took good care, but for my second daughter, she only did the night duty and the morning duty. It was 10 years later. So yes, ma'am.
So Swati ma'am and Mohita ma'am, I mean, it's easy to paint a rosy picture. Vibhuti and Prasanna are, being very kind. But to be honest, when you are in that stress of fellowship and training, it gets to you, because I did have people, not for me, but commenting for somebody else. That it's the females, they can easily go on a maternity leave and see we are doing their extra duties, but we don't get any privileges. We don't get a paternity leave. So that is there. I'm sorry, this is there because I did hear those few comments, during my fellowship. And but hopefully, with webinars like these and conversations like these, and our flag bearers like Prasanna and Vibhuti, people will understand that the challenges, they're different for everybody, and it's something, some things are there, and hopefully we can have a better balance. And obviously, as females also, I think one thing is also what we should note is that when we have these breaks, be dedicated, try not to push your work to others. Obviously, when it's inevitable, you can't help it, you need that support system, but also we should not take it for granted. A good colleague helping us out always, we should also be having those professional ethics. So this is something what I
Absolutely.
feel.
Absolutely.
So
Well said, Nupur. Well said.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think with this, Raki, you want to add something? Raki?
So, as Mohita ma'am was mentioning, they were all talking about the good sides, the supports, and but I think I have faced the other side also, where there were no supports and where there were mean comments from colleagues, with from co-residents, from family, and from senior, especially women ophthalmologists, not just men ophthalmologists. So there were like maybe you all were so lucky that you had all support, but there are issues. There are issues when they hear the news that you are pregnant, when they hear the news that you are having this bleeding, spotting, you need bed rest. And sometimes I have seen some of my friends who wanted to continue, but were forced to stop their fellowship journey or their training journey. They were forced to take leave and come back later when everything settles. And some of them were fortunate that they could go back, but some of them were not able to come. They had to leave it in the middle because of this unplanned things. And I heard mean comments when they were saying, why don't they plan it properly? But the biological clock, whatever we plan, sometimes God will make some other plan. So you cannot just like you cannot judge them on why they didn't plan, why they planned it during pregnancy, why they planned it during pregnancy. It happens sometimes. The best planning, best contraceptives, it happens. But if we have a good support, like you always saying, maybe we would have done much better.
So I think, ma'am, what one thing, Swati ma'am and Mohita ma'am, we would probably, I think we had a discussion during the AIOC session also. What we can probably discuss is what I think me and Rakhi have discussed is the policy of maternity leave for doctors, ma'am, for women ophthalmologists. This is something I think all of us face that there is no clear-cut policy. Often people had to take breaks or so I think this is something probably in a separate session with a legal advice. This is something we would request our senior WOS members to uh, discuss this and probably go for, because this would be something which would be the need of the hour, ma'am. Whatever,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
So,
not about the career break, ma'am. Finances also come into play, ma'am. So
right,
Yes,
this
true.
is something that,
Can I add?
yes,
I want to
yes.
one last thing. I would want to say that the struggles related with maternity specifically, not with relation to marriage, but maternity struggles definitely 100% extend beyond fellowship. Whether it is immaterial when you get pregnant. I have been personally asked in a job interview what my plans were, and it directly affects your employment chances. And as Nupur is saying, there is no clear-cut maternity leave, especially because most of us are working as consultants, so we are not even considered as employees, right? So we're not
yeah.
even entitled to basic paid maternity leave, which is such a shame in this time and age in a democracy like India.
Right.
So definitely I think we can probably take this up on a bigger scale if possible at all legally.
I think it's a very good idea, and we will get this in our executive so that we have a session on this in
Yes, ma'am.
one of the annual conferences, and we can have the legal experts and other experts on this,
Yes.
so that we can frame a
Yes,
kind
ma'am.
of a guideline and give it to for at least for different hospitals that can be followed, if not from the top level to the government, but definitely the hospitals that we work in. There are a lot of women colleagues now, so we'll do that. It's a very good suggestion, and we take that. Yeah.
We can have a survey
Thank
first of
you.
all. I think this was suggested by Dr. Deventuli, sir, that first have a
Okay.
survey of, what is the
Yes.
level of, how you all are getting affected by it. Then
Right.
you
Absolutely.
frame your,
Absolutely.
yes.
The
So yes.
problem,
So
and it
So
is, yeah,
so
sorry.
we'll take that up in the executive next time, and we can definitely involve most of you who are here today for that. Yeah.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with this,
Thank you
a
so much.
quick, yeah. So just a quick, uh, 1 second before we wrap up. So, mhm. So we'll skip this. We've had the closing comments. So Swati ma'am, we have this. Yeah, ma'am, we have our annual was coming. So would you take the everybody for this wonderful conference and what this conference is all about? Over to you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
so I think by now you all must have registered, or if not, please hurry up. And the program is very well curated by Dr. Shweta Walia, who is the chairman scientific committee, and the local organizing team is making much efforts for this. And I think it's a women conference, and all of us, agree to that it's a very different conference this time. We'll have cross pollination, means there are a lot of other specialities coming together, not only the clinical ones, but the industry. There'll be a lot of other sessions, like, we have Project Archana, we have Project Shakti, we have lots of deferred life surgeries, then we have financial management, entrepreneurial skills, then we have lots of these HOD connects, the teachers of tomorrow. So we have all these sessions which are lined up, and it's a full packed bundle of entertainment, come a lot of learning. So please come forward, register, and be there. It's your own conference. I think every woman would find something or the other which touches their heart in this. And wherever you all feel to be involved, do let us know, do write to us, or you can personally WhatsApp us also. So we'll do the best. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Raki, would you want to give a quick vote of thanks to everybody? Yeah.
So I would first like to thank all of the panelists and the speakers who have spent their time and gave their valuable suggestions and shared their life stories with us. I hope today's talk gave motivation and inspiration to young women, ophthalmologists and non-ophthalmologists if they are attending, who are struggling through this phase of motherhood, marriage, and other such problems. Maybe they gain some insight that their story is not the only story. All others are having their own struggles. Everybody makes choices. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but your journey is yours. You have to dive through it. So I think today's session was giving so much insights and so much valuable inputs to everybody. And I hope all of you who have joined us enjoyed it thoroughly. Thanks to Mohita ma'am and Swati ma'am for providing young boys with this opportunity. And we are planning to do something for the young women, to their struggles, to their motherhoods, to their pregnancies. Possibly we'll do that. Thank you, everyone.
A special applaud to two of our male colleagues, Vibhuti and Prasanna. You guys are amazing, I should say. And, you're kind of a role model for all the men out there.
Thank you.
So please do continue the support that you have for your spouses and also the WAS. So thank you so much. And Rakhi and Nupur, you have been excellent hosts as ever, and all the panelists and the speakers. We really like to take this opportunity to thank all of you. And please do join us for the next session. Vishnupur is going to, and Rakhi are going to again, put it forward for you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Nupur.
Take
Thank you,
care.
everyone.
We'll take a quick
Yeah.
group photo. We'll take a quick
Yeah,
group
yeah.
photograph before we, yeah. Shariti, can you switch off the live thing and we'll take a photograph? Yeah. Prasanna, can you take the photo for us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, what sign do? We do this for WOS?
So yeah, we do this.
We make a W. Yeah. Prasanna, can you click? Done.
Done, ma'am. I've taken one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye. Good
Thank
night.
you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.